came up with that whole Godfather. I'm telling you, me and Bradshaw came up with that on the road.
That sounds about right.
I'm wrestling Bradshaw, right?
Yeah.
I'm whoever I am, comma, and he's whoever. People cared. We're popcorn match, which is the match right after intermission. That's just to get people back in their seats, right? Mm-hmm. So we're the popcorn match. Me and Johnny are going 10, 12 minutes, beating the hell out of each other, having fun doing it, but beating the hell out of each other. And the people are sitting on their hands. We're getting no reaction whatsoever. They didn't care about him or me.
Yeah.
All right?
That's hard.
So one night we're in Louisville, and I tell Johnny, I'm like, hey, let's try something different. Jack Lanza is the agent. I go, Jack, can we try this? He's like, hey, let's give it a shot. So I talked to John. So I go out there now, and I used to dress with like a black vest, black pants, those hats. So I kind of look a little bit like a pimp. It was more of a biker look to me. But I go out there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm a pimp. And you get little giggles in the outfit. I say, but what you don't know is right here in Louisville, man, they got some of the best hoes ever born. And now I got a little bigger reaction. And then I'd point things out. So then Johnny would come out. I had no girls whatsoever. I was like, Johnny, in the back, in a limo right now, I got 5 of the nastiest hoes you've ever seen in your life. And they'll do whatever your freaky country ass wants to do. And people are and I'm like, what do you people think? And the people are now going, take the hose, take the hose, I'm like, the people are telling you what to do. Now, mind you, we're going 10, 12 minutes with no reaction. So now I'm 6 minutes in on a speech, and they're yelling, take the hose.
There you go.
Take the hose. Johnny would say, hey, take the hose. The place would pop. And then I'd get the mic and start healing on the people. And then Johnny would turn and buzz and turn around. I still have my hat and everything on. I'd turn around. Johnny would hit me with the clothesline. 1, 2, 3. I'd pop up and say, man, pimping ain't easy. And it popped. And then we did it the next night. And then when we got to TV, Vince is when Vince says, I hear this might have some legs to it, this little thing you're doing.
I didn't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that part of it.
Yeah.
I think y'all should have just tried it once and just let him go. I bet they'd have popped like hell. If you work them up that much and then just let John go and never come back, and you're like, or let him come back all disheveled and just...
Y'all walk out together to take him back there, and then 3 matches later, you come back and he's disheveled and everything.
That's how it started. That's really how it started.
I don't remember
we
that.
did 2 shows, funny. And then said that, and we put it on TV.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. I see. You learn something new all the time, man.
That is.
I didn't know the origins. I didn't
Denise,
know.
my wife, came up with all the color. She had the hats. She had somebody making the costumes. I don't know if you know this, but the vest that had the sayings on the back, I would never wear the same vest on TV twice.
Right.
And so I would always get, Denise had somebody, I would get 2 new vests a week, the pants, the coat, the jewelry. She was taking care of all. I didn't want to wear the blue hats. You know, I was a biker, dude. You know, I'd be wearing black, normally all black. I don't want to wear the blue hat. I don't want to wear the green pants.
But you're going to wear that blue hat.
Yeah, she's like, I'm telling you, baby. I'm like, no, I want to do that. I don't want, hard-headed.
Yeah.
But everything that she got me to do worked out pretty well.
Damn.
Yeah. Was that the character where maybe did you feel more comfortable and everything as the Godfather than you did any other character that you?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
just
that was
me.
just, yeah.
It's me being out there just talking, having fun.
Was it almost kind of like man, finally, I get to be.
Vince told me one time, you ought to be paying me. And I'm like, if you let me keep doing this, maybe I will. I was having the time of my life, man, because I was like Ric Flair, man. I was the Godfather 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they allowed me to be the Godfather, so it was cool.
That's got to make it fun. That's got to. You're not working at that point,
dude. I look forward to going to work.
Right? Yeah, like, I ain't taking no bumps today.
Yeah, I'd go 2 weeks without taking a bump.
Yeah,
that's golden right there.
How did the Ministry of Darkness happen? Where did that come from?
So again, it was. I felt like the character needed to evolve, and I wanted to have the obviously I wanted the character to be on the show. But I'm also starting to want to preserve, the when you've been on TV for so long, you always run that chance of burnout and washout and losing interest. So I wanted to take the character even darker than where it had already been, but in a different, more kind of a even more sinister kind of way. And I wanted to use lots of imagery and symbolism, and just really push the envelope to what was going to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that was, that was my goal. Evolve the character, continue to evolve the character, and I wanted to have, there were guys out there that I knew, like, they were just floating in there in the mix, and they were just having matches. They didn't have any storylines going along, and I was like, well, shoot, man, let me take them into and bring them into the ministry, change their names, and then hopefully it might give them a different kind of a rub down the line.
And then was it guys that essentially you said, man, I see something in them. I know that they've got it. They just need to be put in the right spot or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, and just sometimes you just need a little bit of a spark, and something good will happen. And that was pretty much everybody, minus Mabel. I mean,
It was just, you just don't want to wrestle.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to run that risk again. But two, and to be honest, I mean, he was a huge man, and a very ominous figure.
Yeah.
But it's always funny. Go ahead.
I think his look in the ministry was pretty cool looking too.
Oh yeah. He had the white contacts and the white mohawk and everything else. Now hopefully, I think for Ron and John, it gave them a little bit of a boost. Obviously, the APA, or they went from the acolytes to the acolyte protection agent, APA, and then obviously John went on to his big singles run. But all guys pretty much that I got along with and were on board to do whatever, and we pushed the uncomfortable envelope quite a bit. When you start putting people. When I started putting people up on my symbol, and the symbolism that was kind of, it was the suggestion that I was making there. We started getting heat from a lot of religious people and complaints and blasphemy and everything else. That's when we knew we had we had it. We had something special here because people are uncomfortable by seeing this. Yeah. And it was really cool, all the way up until it became, the corporate ministry.
Making them people uncomfortable though, you did that from the first night walking out as the Undertaker though. And the thing is I love the fact that you evolved that character to where you said, they were very uncomfortable the first night I walked out. Now they've become comfortable with the Undertaker essentially. And, it's people love the Undertaker. I need them. Did you kind of in your mind go, I need to make them uncomfortable again?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the whole intent. That was taking, it went from burying people and their rotting souls and all that into almost more of an occult kind of type deal, and really pushing the buttons of.
Because I think a lot of people, as they're smartening up or whatever to the business at that time, they were like, he's really not getting buried, or he's really not, like he's really not this. Then all of a sudden you start like sacrificing people.
I mean, some people call it sacrifice.
That. It's gonna, sparks something in you no matter what, right? Where you're just like, like, oh, like you almost like, am I?
Should I be looking at this?
Yeah, it's like, especially if you wrestling hotbed in the South, Bible Belt. There's a lot of people that are watching that probably going,
oh my,
I don't know if
the kids should be.
No, and like there's a lot of mamas walking through like, I don't,
Is are they being sacrificed?
Yes, where's Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior at?
Yeah,
where's the vitamins and saying your prayers?
Yeah,
And
there were a lot of prayers probably needed to be said.
yeah, and you're over there, crucifying Stephanie McMahon, and
Now, crucify is a little strong. I'm just saying.
but it's that because now you're tapping into a different uncomfortable than you did when you walked out first as the Undertaker. Now you're tapping into a moral aspect of a person. Morally,
Yes.
are they going to? Because now all of a sudden, if I pull for the ministry of darkness, does that make me a Satan worshiper?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Am I allowed to do this? Should I be doing this?
Yeah. And that was the whole intent of it, is to make people like either they're disgusted and want somebody to come along that can put a stop to it,
Yeah.
Stone Cold or whoever, or like I can make something that's half-ass satanic cool, and I'll be damned if that's not what happened. It's crazy, but it's funny. But just as time evolves, people, the things that shock you in 1990, in the year 2000, or 1998, or whenever it is, it's people have evolved and things are different.
Yeah.
And so you have
Internet is available.
So you have to, if you want to be relevant and you want to be, if you want to be involved in the mix, man, you've got to figure out ways to separate yourself from everybody else. And the character is somewhat, is somewhat boxed in. So, how do I make this guy even more evil or demonic, or however, however you want to look at it. So it was everything was obviously very intentional. Put a lot of thought into it. Had a lot of back and forths with creative.
I was about to say, was there ever a pushback where anyone said, "Do you really think you should do that?"
Yeah, no, and everything was questioned. Like it was, but it was also that time period where, let's do it.
You're just pushing everything to the limit.
They're going to react out of this. There's either one way or another. They're going to react, and that's exactly what happened. And I think it got over. I think it got over so well. That's how the corporate ministry ended up getting involved in it, because it was so unique. And obviously,
do you think that the ministry, because it lasted for right at a year, I think, from what I've read, do you think that 1 year was the right time frame, or do you feel like it had legs to go 2, 3, 4 years?
It definitely had the legs to go on if we hadn't if it hadn't got watered down the way it did. I think it was probably a 2, maybe 3 year run out of that. I think there was so much that we still had left that we could have done to push the envelope and people to work with. But it had its place, and it had its place in my run, and I'm pretty proud of it, because it came at a time where I really felt like I needed an evolution, and I think it resonated. So,
And I think some of your maybe some of your best wardrobe, like the dusters, all that stuff, like you definitely had a distinct look during
Yes.
that time where you looked like you were a leader of a cult, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
And was there a lot of thought and time put into coming up with that look of yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, you always I always wanted to keep elements. Always wanted to keep just a few elements of the original, just to hold my roots, but be able to expand. And when I started going to I always call them the Hellraiser jackets. You know, the long coats with the sleeveless and the studs and the straps and everything. It was a very distinct look. Still screamed Undertaker, but it was a different Undertaker. It was this. There was a lot of emphasis put in the imagery of what we were trying to do, what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, I was again in that era where I was trying to set myself apart make myself different from anything else that was going on out there. So,
whose idea was it to bring Stephanie McMahon into the storyline?
I want to say, you know, just the story evolved with Vince, and then obviously I end up kidnapping Stephanie and intend on marrying her and all of that, and so you know, remember lighting the teddy bear on fire, you know, is letting Vince know, you know, he's got everybody, all the security in the building watching his daughter, and I still am able to get to her, and you know, the infamous "Where to, Stephanie" line. I mean, it's just you know, so much, so fun. But you know, Stephanie was a different Stephanie then too, right? That was kind of the beginning of her, because she still had that innocent, kind of almost little girl type presence about her at that point.
The boss's daughter.
The boss's sweet little daughter. And now this, you know, the boogeyman, Satan, has got his eyes on the boss's daughter. So, you know, I think that kind of resonated with people and made people uncomfortable. And even though it was Vince, it was still like sweet little Stephanie.
Yeah.
And you know, Satan's after her.
And I mean, probably for the first time in a long time, people were siding with Vince all of a sudden.
It was because a lot of it early on, you know, it creeped people out. Like they were like, man, he's taking this too far, kind of thing. And you know, and it didn't really become like super cool till later on. Like, oh man, I love the Ministry of Darkness. It was, you know, it was this and it was that.
Yeah.
But while it was going on, people were like, I don't know about that, man. Huh?
Bluechew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up, Dennis, at Bluechew.com.
I will try
Consult one of
Bluechew.
their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
Yeah. I want to try
Bluechew
it.
tablets are made in the USA.
Nice. You got to feel that radio
Best
voice
part,
on.
it's done all online. No awkward conversations.
Like this
I don't
one.
think
I
you
enjoy the awkward conversations.
Like right now.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
can take anytime, day or night.
Yeah.
And you know what? 6 Feet Under's got a great special for you.
Tell
We've
me
got a
about
special for our listeners. Try Bluechew free.
Ladies and
when you
gentlemen,
use
try
our promo
Bluechew
code
free.
6 feet at checkout, just pay $5
6
shipping.
feet.
That's Bluechew.com. Promo code 6 feet to receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring this podcast and the Godwins.
Just take the blue chew and let's hit the road.
I've had like 4 of them.
You know, you went through a couple of different evolutions of characters, you know, with the Papa Shango and the Kama and everything. How much influence did you have on those characters, or were those characters kind of given to you?
All those characters were given to me. The Godfather was me and my wife's idea, mostly my wife's idea.
Yeah.
And then when Vince heard about it, Vince came to me and he goes, Charles, I hear this might have some legs to it. That's the exact words.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know if you remember this. He goes, you think you can get some girls and we can put this on TV? Me, you, and the Harris boys, Ron and Don Harris, went to a strip club and got some girls and brought them back. Then put them on TV.
Yep.
Well, they needed a ride, right? They needed an extra car.
We had to talk them in.
That's a long time
That's
ago.
a
Come on,
long time ago.
We were young men.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
So is that where when you went the hose? Would you essentially go to a local strip club in whatever that town was? And
The very first time we went and got the girls, the second time I think they put Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, they assigned somebody.
Yeah,
I
they
think.
assigned somebody to
go
get
get
the
girls.
girls, and they would get them from strip clubs. And then as the gimmick, I wish I could tell the other story. Maybe I can't. You can always edit it out, huh?
Oh yeah.
I started thinking, where was I at? I started thinking about this other story.
Bruce Pritchard going
So
to get
Bruce
the-
would get the girls, and then it got over to the fact that the clubs would call them and say, hey, while you're in town, can we supply the girls? And then I would show up, and then depending on how much time I had in my match is how many girls I would bring out, because it would take so long to do all your stuff, to get to the ring, get in the ring, do your whole Godfather show in the ring, get the girls out of the ring, have some type of a 2-3 minute 2-minute match, and then get the girls back in the ring.
Yeah.
And so that's why if you see me with only a couple girls, it was going to be quick.
It's gonna be a quick match. Yep.
But if I had 4 or 5, it was going chances were it was going to be a little longer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. I don't even think you know this about the deal that I had with the girls.
Oh no. I don't know. Maybe go ahead. Do tell.
I don't know if I want to get myself in trouble here.
Oh yeah. Well yeah. It's,
The girls, when the girls did it, they would have so much fun. I mean, most of them were wrestling fans. They're around the boys. They're in front of the people. They're having the time of their lives. And we treated them well.
Right.
Okay? They were treated really well. And so they would come to me and say, hey, my manager at the strip club, he called me last time, but I'd really like to do this again. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, okay, this is what I want. That's it. This is not even going where you think it's going. I'm telling you.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, this is going to surprise you, but then it's not going to surprise you. Okay, so I'm like, this is what I want from you. I said, when I'm in town, all you have to do is show up and say you're one of Godfather's girls, and I'll vouch for you. This is what I want. I said, I want your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever it is, your friend, to get me the best weed. I said, get me a half an ounce of the best weed you can get. And then they would be like, okay. I'm like, and you know what? Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other will be so glad that you're not doing this, that they're going to get me some good weed. And so the girls would show up, and that's where I'd get it from. And after you made the loop once or twice, you'd get to know the girls.
Right.
So the girls would bring it to me.
See, that's networking right there, buddy.
Is that pimping?
That's
It
pimping.
ain't easy.
You thought I was going to say something else. By that time, I changed.
You changed by then.
Denise
your
changed
priority.
me. Denise, by that time, I changed.
Yeah.
Has there ever been anyone who refused to take your finish that you want to mention on the show?
Refused? I don't think so. I don't think anybody ever refused to do it.
I've heard you tell this story once before.
Help me out.
I've only heard this one time. You told the story. I think somebody at one of your Dead Man shows asked you a similar question like this. Razor Ramon refused to take your finish.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, he wasn't refused to take a finish. He didn't want me to cross his arms.
Yeah.
He thought that made him look like a jabron.
You said he went stiff arm.
Yeah.
One night.
So we were doing double shots. So we had 2 shows that day, and the first show was like in Scranton, and then the night show was going to be in Philadelphia. And he stiff arms me in Scranton, right? And I get backstage, and I'm like, dude, what's up with the arms? And he goes, like, well, yeah, man, I don't want to look like a jabron. I'm like, dude, I beat everybody by crossing their arms. That's just part of the gimmick. And, you know, and he's still kind of hem-hawing, you know, kind of gloom and doom about the whole deal. And somebody got in his ear by the time we got to Philadelphia about, yeah, he should probably cross his arms. So I'd already decided what I was going to do in Philadelphia. They said, you're not going to cross your arms. I'm going to pin you with one finger. That was what my plan was. So I don't know who'd got. Maybe Kurt Hennig had probably gotten his ear. So I spiked him that night. We were in the Spectrum, and boom, I give him the spike. And as I'm getting ready to put my finger on his chest, he threw his arms up by himself. So I didn't have to. So I was like, oh,
Well, the
all
fact
right.
that Kurt Hennig actually did something like that instead of telling him, no, you should keep your arm, because Kurt was a ribber. And
Well, yeah. I don't know the motivation that Kurt was using. I don't know if he was trying to stir the crap or help him out. But yeah. Regardless, he crossed his arms.
He did
that
the right
night.
thing.
Yeah, he did the right thing. So.
it's the holiday season. Mm-hmm. People are going to probably eat a little too much, maybe put a few pounds on.
Oh yeah,
I've
that's a
been
given.
I've been known to do that.
Yeah, you started early.
Yeah, I started back in like March.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this time of the year, you don't have to be terrible. You can still work out. You can still try to get that workout in. Mm-hmm. Something that's going to help you, give you a little bit of motivation, is that first Phorm ignition. That right there, buddy. That'll get you off the couch.
That'll get you off the couch.
And that will get you in the gym.
Yep. And this is definitely bulking season.
Bulking season.
So yeah, you got to use stuff. You have to use stuff like ignition to get you going, man. And first Phorm, man, they hit it right on the mark with this. You get a little bit of that in your system, yeah. A full belly, yeah, you're going to want to hit the gym.
And you know, we don't promote anything that we actually don't believe in. This is something you've said off camera and everything else. Their pre-workout.
Oh, it's
legit.
Oh, it is legit. There are many times where I have to go in deep because I don't feel like training. I don't have to anymore if I don't want to.
And that makes it tough.
And it does make it tough. So and I'm not sometimes I have super discipline and sometimes not so much. But I tell you what, if I get in the ignition, well, I'm gonna work out
whether you want to or not.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I got to burn that off. And no, first Phorm, first Phorm definitely got it right there. And what a product!
Absolutely, they've been with us essentially since the beginning. Great folks over there that make great products, great human beings, great Americans. We love everything about what they're doing. You know, this holiday season, it's fine. If you want to eat that extra piece of pumpkin pie, that's fine. But just remember.
What about some white meat turkey? Like the late night, why does it got to be pumpkin pie?
I love me some good pumpkin pie, boy. Let me tell you something.
Might we digress there?
Oh, and the casseroles. Dude. Man alive. I'm not a turkey guy.
You're not a turkey guy.
I like turkey sandwiches.
What's
I don't
your
like
meat of choice?
eating. Oh, ham. Give me a ham.
Figured.
Oh, man. My ankles will be swollen by like Saturday from all the ham I eat.
You swallow all that sodium.
All that sodium.
Blowed up like a puffer fish.
It's bad. It's bad. It's to a point where like I have to. So I buy a ham for myself for the whole weekend. I'll cook it at the house and I'll eat the whole thing myself.
I don't need to know all that.
So it's pretty bad. So, but come Monday,
take that home with you.
After Thanksgiving,
take that home with you.
I'm going to start my first Phorm regiment and get back in the gym and get myself in shape. That's the only way I can do it.
I normally hoard all the ignition when we have it here on set. Take that with you.
Take this one with me.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate First Phorm, guys. Go check out First Phorm. The link is in our description, and get yourself some great products. They got all kinds of stuff over there. They got beef sticks. They got the pre-workout. They got the proteins. They got everything you want.
Protein's solid too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Really good flavors there. The stuff works. Go check them out. Thank you, First Phorm, for supporting our podcast. We appreciate it.
First thing we need to do is get a pot of chalk.
Wow. All right. I'm just going to.
Official here.
Yeah. That's a lot of chalk. All right. No, so basically just walking the table. With your height, you're going to want to step in. So kind of like front stance, but take your left foot and point that way.
Take my left foot.
Yeah, but get a little bit closer to the table.
Okay.
All right. And a little, good wide stance. Reason your left foot's pointing that way because that's the direction you want to go.
You're pulling.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So when you grip up with me, ooh,
Good Lord.
whatever. Hand on the hand peg.
Hand on the hand peg.
Okay, so you want to keep your body in tight to the table. You can have 2 points of contact where you can apply back pressure. And I'll explain what that is in just a minute. So if you were to pick up something off the ground, would you be stronger picking it up like this or if you supported your hand here to pick it up?
Ooh, you supported your.
Okay, so to apply back pressure, you want to have your left hand on the hand peg and push with it, right? The other point of contact is going to be your abdomen into the table.
All right.
So if I push my abdomen in the table and I push here, I can drag back further this way, right?
Yeah. That'll throw him off right there.
So first
How's those mitts right there, Taker?
Feels like I'm grabbing a honey baked ham.
now I'm hungry.
I got a honey baked ham with fingers.
So, okay, the first thing we want to do is called riser engagement. So we're going to take your knuckle and point it straight to the ceiling. So you know, just like this. Boom.
Okay.
Right. So now you close your hand up here. So you keep this knuckle high. On go, you want to drag your elbow straight back as you crunch your wrist down. So this is your cupping movement. Straight down. And then you're going to take this pressure right here and pull through my fingers. Now let this drop off the side of the table. Keep it on here.
Okay.
Now let the elbow fall off the side of the table. Yeah, remember we're pushing on this too. And drag backwards to that opposite shoulder. So you start at the right front and you get into the left rear. Boom, go straight back. Fall that way though. Left to left elbow, fall off the table. There you go, perfect. See, your long lever is perfect for top rolling. So I'm gonna show you the motion. So just feel this pressure. Cup here and now drag straight back.
Yep.
Right? So that's what you wanna try to do. Boom. If you keep this knuckle high, see, the average person who's going to try to arm wrestle you is going to try to push this way.
Right.
But if you do this, you're going to negate all their power because now you're in a wedge.
Gotcha.
So that's how if you just want to beat your buddies, just like a hammer curl
Right.
with the lat drag and just pull straight back. But remember, you keep your body in tight. Oh, perfect. Now drop sideways without twisting your shoulders. Okay, see, let this arm fall off. Perfect. You see how your shoulders stay square?
Yep.
So you're doing this number. Now watch my shoulders. And my shoulders stay square all the way down.
Yep. Gotcha.
You do that. Get in real tight to the table again. Knuckle high. Crunch straight down. Ready to go.
So,
Here.
okay.
And then drag through my fingers. Drag back. Pull, pull, pull. Just like that. Let's go that way. There you go. Very good. So plot.
You're going to let me win.
Oh, I'm gonna let you in. That
hand is not going to touch that.
It ain't no way. He's setting me up for a
The
big.
magnet's over here. It's pulling my hand this way for some reason.
I get it. I don't do jobs either.
All right, get it nice and tight again. So
Okay.
that's the most advanced move.
Right.
Is a top roll. And I teach people top rolling because it's the best way to stay injury free. Once you start grinding in with some hooks or some presses,
Right.
that inner elbow joint can get trashed.
Right.
Top rolling keeps you safe. But with your height, you could also be a presser. You could be an inside shoulder press like the guy I'm about to face.
Right.
So I'll show you how to set that up. So get up tall, elbow down. Now you're gonna take this and you're gonna pull with it. So it's like a pec deck, right? Mm-hmm. So from here, high knuckle, straight back up, crunch your fingers straight down in my hand and throw your shoulder on top of it. And try to push me to here. Nope, just go straight down.
Oh, just straight.
Yeah, that's the movement. That's that just redneck inside press, boom. So that's how most people who redneck arm wrestle start. That's what I was good at. That's why I still have that base. But you're more likely to tear your elbow up doing this. So I wouldn't say do this.
I got you.
It's just your height wise, you would be good at this, right? But you want to see what that move feels like?
Sure.
All right, so you just come crushing down with take these two and crush here and throw the shoulder on top. And press. Ready, go. Boom. Yeah, give me pressure. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on you with this move.
Okay.
So it's going like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
So it's just crushing down here and just some tricep, but really it's just pec and shoulder. Ready to go. Boom. That's actually pretty good. I think you feel better top rolling. Let's do top roll.
Yeah. Phil.
Because your long lever feels more natural. Remember this, okay, elbow here, so it falls off the table. Right. Yeah, ready, go, back pressure, straight back, straight back, straight back. Drag, drag, drag. You're just like that. So what you're doing is you're making this move, but you're keeping your elbow stationary.
Right.
So remember I said it's a pulling sport? So tighten back up again, I'm gonna show you. Give me a lot of back pressure. Just pull hard real back. I'm gonna just pull back with you, boom. And then you just go sideways, all right?
Oh, I just got a cramp.
You will cramp up doing this. Now you wanna see what it feels like to pull on the strap?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Give me a little rub down with you.
I think I had him that time.
It was very close.
You got this.
All right, so
Don't let him win. God. This is our show.
all right, so
Don't embarrass
elbow
me.
down. We're gonna put this together here. We'll put it around here.
Now I can't get loose.
Yeah,
He's not gonna let you go.
sometimes it's not good to get tied to somebody. I prefer it because most of the times the stronger person.
Mark used to in the 90s.
It's a long time ago.
It's been a minute. Normally the stronger person will win in the straps, right? So we're just gonna cinch it down real tight. So take your leverage, high knuckle, and crunch those. You feel super strong there. So just put the body into the table, hand on the hand peg, and really imagine just trying to pull me to your left shoulder.
Right.
Ready, go. That's perfect. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep pulling, drag your elbow, drag your elbow. You see, where's Rebecca go? I want her to see that. That's good. So, I mean, that looks really good.
Yeah.
The technique looks amazing.
He looks like an arm wrestler.
This is awesome.
You hear that? The technique looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, oh, super strong, super strong.
Yeah, your technique's good. I mean, we need to call Bert Soren so that.
Okay.
All right, get a shot of this. Look, this technique looks awesome.
All right, come on.
All right, same thing.
Hold on.
Body on the table.
Got to turn it around like they
Oh,
did.
now there's a switch. We're going to talk about the
there we
switch.
go. Now you're
Oh, over the top now, brother.
that first form. Oh, now it's over now.
That's
now
not
it's
fair.
over. Now it's over. Oh, yeah.
He's coming alive now.
Oh, here we go. It's go time now. It's go time.
Get in nice and tight, nice and tight. Push and push your abdomen and drag straight back. Here we go. Ready, go. Boom. Drag. Fall table. Here you go. Keep going that way. Drag your elbow. Just keep your arm safe. That's good. Try to give me a little more back pressure that way. Is it okay if I pull back a little bit? Okay. Yeah, that ain't fun.
Holy crap.
But see how it's just a pulling sport?
Yeah, you pull a lot stronger than I do.
You're super. I'm going to tell you, everything about you feels. Had you started this instead of wrestling, obviously would have been a wrong move because wrestling way better financially. But you have all the leverage and all the technique. You could be really, really good at arm wrestling. But
Wow.
what do you want to do? Anything else?
Yeah, I want you to do it to him.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
You
All right,
love
man.
seeing me get beat up.
Yeah, that's
now
why
you're
you're
from
here.
South Carolina, right? So
I
didn't you
mean,
say that you didn't
bad
I was
Chad.
gonna say, didn't you pull a Chad Silver son? You want strap?
Okay, and
It's another story.
my high school, we'll use this. In my high school, we had bad Chad Silvers, who he's a decent arm wrestler, right?
Oh, multi-time national champion, world champion, bad dude.
Yeah, and but yeah, graduated from my high school, so it's in the water, man. We got
Something
the
about broken ribs, South Carolina.
bad
strong
Chad
arm wrestlers.
Silvers and Lee Haney both graduated from my high school. So there you go.
Well, that has to mean something.
Which one's your bad shoulder?
Oh, my right, but it's already broken, so who cares?
You sure you want the strap? No strap.
Either way, this is useless. This is
Grip him up first. We got to figure
here
out
we
what your technique is.
Yeah, we got to figure out the technique. You know the technique, though, right?
Yeah, he's taught me before.
So what you got? Ready, go.
It starts to move and you get all happy, right? Yeah. And then it just
So I'm
stops.
telling you right now, from what I'm feeling, Taker's gonna kill you.
Oh, I knew he
It's
will.
not even gonna be close.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, I thought that you had that South Carolina bad Chad Silver string. So
Well, this is just a
I'm-
warm. This is a warm
it's
up.
okay.
All right, this is just.
I had to check where we're at.
I gotta. Yeah.
So do you want to stay with that inside press? You're gonna go outside. Where are you gonna go?
I mean,
because I'm feeling like the next match is the two of y'all. Like,
So if I do outside,
yeah. So remember, this elbow has to come off the table.
yeah, I'm gonna
If
come
the
here.
elbow's here and you try to pin it, blocks you. So if
Yeah.
it comes off the table, you fall with it, right?
So I want to be here.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Ready, go. See right there. I don't know. Taker's got a lot of pressure right there. So
I'm pretty sure Matt don't want that smoke.
I mean, You may not want that smoke.
I mean, I am injured, so if he does beat me,
See, that's it. I ain't
It's
gonna
not even worth it,
No,
right?
yeah.
You already made the excuse, so it's not even a victory
I'm
for him.
injured. So it could be if he did beat me, it's definitely because I'm injured.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what. Me and Michelle are gonna go when I get.
Now, okay. Here's the fun part. Where's Rebecca at?
Oh, she'll beat you.
Huh?
Now, Rebecca honestly doesn't arm wrestle anymore. She won't do it.
You won't arm wrestle anymore, Rebecca?
Uh-uh.
She
don't want it. She don't
want that
wanna get
smoke.
That's it. I'm telling you,
She
back
heard
in the
about
day,
the South.
though.
She
Back
heard
in the
about
day,
that South Carolina.
she wouldn't have messed up about no broken ribs. She'd have went right through you.
Man, I did 40-pound tricep pull downs the other day.
You got stuff popping over there I hadn't seen in a long time. It's pretty impressive.
I just, you know.
All right, let's do one thing.
Okay.
Grab both hands.
Oh God, I've done this before too.
Hang on. Wait, I'm safe. Never mind.
Hard you want
I'm
to
not gonna go.
Hard you want to
I'm
go.
good. I can put my head over here. I'll be fine.
There's,
He just waited for you to just.
it's
One more,
it's,
one
it's
more.
insane.
All right, here we go.
Just if you look at him sooner, he'll put you away.
Ready, go. It's pretty close.
doesn't make
It's
any
pretty close.
sense.
It's pretty close.
It makes no sense.
Well, it kind of
34 years.
Oh my
I've been doing it a
gosh.
long time.
man.
That is, yeah.
I mean, your leverage and everything feels amazingly strong, especially for someone who doesn't arm wrestle. You could do very well at this. I mean, I know you're not going to do it. I'm just saying you could do it.
Hey, man, beat the hell out of podcasting. I'm only serious.
It's it's just you're such a freak athlete, though. Who do you think in WWE would have been good at this? Like
Kane.
That's what. So I heard rumors that Kane was amazing in the locker room, so he could beat everybody.
Just he's a freakishly strong.
Big, strong hand.
Yeah.
So much of it is hand strength. If you can control the hand, you can control the man.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
our great sponsor here, Artisan Grange. We've talked about them for a while now. These guys got a little CBD pouch, 5 milligrams, great flavors.
Which flavor is this?
This is the wintergreen. So if you're trying to come off dip or anything like that, you're gonna have to cut. These are brand new cans. Artisan Grange help you out. Ooh, look at you with your knife. I've seen you sitting over there with that today.
I thought I might need it.
Artisan Grange is a company started when a group of former tobacco dippers wanted a dip alternative that actually tasted like tobacco. So they decided to make one on one condition. It supports American farmers. No matter what your taste, hemp dip satisfies without tobacco, nicotine, or fake fillers. Each pouch contains 5 milligrams of full spectrum CBD from the hemp. The community of hemp dippers who have switched from tobacco and other alternatives is a proud group of dippers who have pride in dipping as a simple pleasure again. One you can do because you want to, not because you have to, and supporting the American tradition of farm quality. So, thank you, Artisan Grange, for sending us some of this product. You gotten in there yet?
I can't get in.
What is? Man. You can tell you're from the West Coast over here in Texas.
The West Coast. The Southwest Coast.
It smells good. Smells like a wintergreen.
Did you get one?
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Artisan Grange, once again for supporting 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
Thank you, Artisan Grange.
The question is, when you were the Godfather and you would, have the girls and everything else, and they'd come to the ring, do you think that he actually liked those hoes?
Who's he?
Undertaker.
Who's it? What? Why?
Why is he trying to stir this up?
Yeah. He's getting to something. Well, you rib me. He's trying to get to a point where you rib me. You
know
got
what
me. You got me.
You know what I say about? I said if anybody else would have did that to him, they might have got fired.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But they know he loves me, so they're not going to fire me. He had no. Well, who wants to set this up?
Well, I mean, it's
They-
your
you
have the,
story
you,
here.
do,
They
you
would-
have the you have
Oh,
the clip.
the clip is available.
Do we want to see the clip first, or
Yeah, we can. We got to get through a commercial.
You're talking
here.
about being nervous all day, right? Now, normally, if I see my name on the page, and I'm working with Bear, I say, "Oh, this is going to be cake." But now he's the Godfather, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work my character. But I'm thinking my boy is going to be all right, and he's going to take care of me. And this,
And instead, this is
what he
happens.
does to me.
For a long time, and I know that you like hoes. I don't think everything's dead, but if it is, these girls will.
yeah, no.
That's
How did you
Dude.
not break during that?
dude. I had indentions inside of my lip from biting it. I was thinking about run over puppies and everything else that I could possibly think of not to crack, because I'm thinking, this son of a bitch, this mother.
If you listen real close, when I said, I know you like hoes, Paul Bear goes,
He loves the hose.
oh, because see, he had no idea what I was
No,
going to
I
say,
had
like
no
you said. And I don't know, I could tell by my eyes, I might have been a little medicated, but I'm just having fun, man. And I was trying to get him to crack, though.
When did you think about doing? I mean, was that something you had thought about all day, or something like?
No, I do things on the cuff, man. Right? I don't know how it happened, but it wasn't something I was thinking about all day, because it was probably put together. I think it was leading into something with Kane or something. Because this wasn't, he beats on me and lights go out and something happens. But they put me in a lot of situations like that just to put you on TV
Yeah.
and not try to hurt you too bad.
Yeah.
And what was going through your head the whole? I mean, you were just like,
Oh, I'm cussing him like a dog inside of my head. Just
What happened in the locker room after this?
I was like, well, then it's just like it is now.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
man, why you got to do me like that?
You do like that.
You know, nobody talks to the Undertaker like that.
I know
Why
you
got to
like
bring up
hoes.
hoes to the Undertaker?
I know
And
you
he's
like
laughing,
hoes.
just like he's laughing right now. Is exactly how he was laughing in the locker room. He was so proud of himself. He thought, and that was it was close. Yeah.
Did the office say anything about that? Mm-hmm. Did the office?
Vince loved it.
Yeah.
He
Vince-
anything that was close to getting me to crack, he would.
He was all over it.
He was all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy right there. He just.
That's your best
Yeah, that's
friend.
my boy right there. Yeah. Oh man.
You know, I've wrestled him as Papa Shango, Kama Mustafa, Godfather, and Right to Censor. I have been in so many caskets. Do you know how many caskets I've been in? Well, I tell you what, when I died, you're not putting me in no casket. 'Cause I'm
We got
tired of it.
an urn here.
We got an urn for you.
Oh my God, I wrestled him with so many different people.
Oh Lordy. He just kept changing names.
But you know what happened? There'd be a point where I wasn't making a lot of money, and I'm like, Vince, I could go home and make a lot more money and just look at naked women all day, man. What
Not
am I,
bad
you know?
living right there.
You know? And so I would go home, and then something would happen. Somebody would call me. They want to come back. And I'd be like, yeah, I missed the road. And I'd come back, and then, and I'd go. I always had the strip clubs to go back to.
Yeah.
And so you always had a way of making income. So,
You know, there was something that kind of got brought up that I wanted to ask both of y'all about that I never thought of. Do you think that during the Ministry of Darkness, do you think the Papa Shango character would have worked in the Ministry of Darkness somehow?
Oh, obviously we could have made it work, but I
Yeah.
mean, he was.
I know that
You were
that-
already doing Godfather.
It was already
right?
Godfather,
Yeah,
but do you
yeah,
think
yeah.
that character could have potentially have worked in the?
I don't know that it, man. I think it would have pissed people off more because that character, man, when that whole train music started, I mean, there was some of the loudest pops.
Oh,
yeah.
They loved the Godfather.
You know what little sneaky thing I did is I was getting when the bow, remember that I was getting such a pop. I was like, how can I get a louder pop? So what I started doing is I would go out without the girls, so I'd get that initial pop.
Right.
And then they'd turn on me. They start booing me and
'Cause
stuff.
they want
and I'd
the
be
girls.
Like, yeah, I'd be like, hang on. And then I would wind up and point to the girls, and that second pop was even bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
And they used to say, lay off for the Godfather's pop.
Yeah, see, that's old school right there, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, being able to use them and understand that, how to incorporate that the right, not just
Yes.
bringing them out right off the rip like that. That's that's progressing the
That
character.
second pop was crazy.
Yeah, that's,
He had learned a lot since '89.
yeah. You grew somewhat.
I said, let me entertain them. I love that. That character is so much me that it's just funny. Not the bear, but Charles Wright. It's pretty cool though to be able to get paid to just be yourself.
Yeah. Now, when you were the Godfather, what did that do for you when you would go to the strip clubs, or when you? I mean, because I felt like the places would want a guy like you at their venue in town.
Back then we didn't get hassled too much because most of the guys they were there to see the girls.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason we hit strip clubs so much because you didn't really get bothered. You always had a section. People would be cool with you for the most part, but they were there looking at the girls.
But no, when you would
people always think we're full of crap when we say that we went just because we didn't get bothered there.
Yeah, you didn't get bothered there.
And everybody think, oh man, y'all went there for the girls. Yeah, that was the least. All we wanted to do was hang out and drink. That was the biggest thing we wanted to do.
The best place to hang out was topless clubs.
Yeah, because all the
you could
guys,
have girls anywhere.
Yeah.
That wasn't a big thing.
Yeah, the guys they come there to see girls, so they weren't interested in what we had going on. So we were just drinking and having fun.
On your question, it's hard because Godfather is a pimp. You know, so it's hard to bring a pimp in here, and especially these days you couldn't do it. But you know what I mean?
No, you get canceled these days.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine calling girls hoes?
Oh yeah, your character does not work in 2024.
No. Thank God I had
Wait, let's figure out how to make your character politically correct. How would we do this in 2024? Would you have to know their
All the hoes are transgender. I don't know.
how does that make it okay?
I don't know, but it's like
I
don't know. I
think
don't
you
know.
could.
You'd have to call them by name or
What would they be?
at least their proper pronouns. I don't know. I don't know.
working persons. You are the
I am the facilitator of adult entertainment.
Undertaker. I know that you like working persons, and
But you couldn't get away with none of that stuff that we were doing back then. None of it. I always tell people Val Venus was worse than me. The things he would say.
Oh man, yeah.
Ooh.
Val was, he pushed the envelope.
he definitely pushed the
And
envelope.
the cool thing is I was never scripted, you can tell.
Yeah.
But I was never scripted unless you had to hit a certain town or a certain event. I was never scripted. Not one time did they say, they would just say, hey, you got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Give me.
And so I would literally think of what I was going to do, just find out who I'm working against, say something funny about them, and do your thing. It was more of a show than anything else. It was entertaining the people.
Mark, I got to start doing better, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to start doing better. I got to start exercising. I got to start eating better. I just got to start making some changes in my life. I keep saying this.
How long are we going to talk about?
It's been almost a year, but I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna this holiday season, I'm gonna do better.
You're going to do better in the
gonna do
holiday
better.
season.
I'm gonna do better during the
You're going
holidays.
to pick the holidays to do better.
It seems like a good time.
Okay, hey,
This
brother,
time,
hey.
it's better than ever. It's
right.
better than ever.
All right.
And Magic Spoon's gonna help me. I'm gonna just eat Magic Spoon from sun up to sundown. I think that's what's gonna do it. Our friends over there, they've got great product. You keep it in your house. You don't let your kids eat it.
No.
You're
No,
just
my
eating it
kid-
by
no,
yourself
No, I
at
hide
night.
it. No, I hide it because they would eat it, and they can get away with eating regular cereal. But
And everybody knows about the cereal, but not everybody knows about the treats here, man.
The treats.
Magic Spoon. They turned their popular cereal into high-protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars.
See, I'd have to have those because actually, my kids don't like milk. Well, one of my kids doesn't like milk,
Yeah.
so she'd eat that up quick.
Oh, yeah. So it's just Magic Spoon's brand new treats are delicious and have already become the favorite for an after gym snack, pre-workout, all of those.
Yeah, I don't know how they make it taste so good without zero sugars, 4 net carbs, and loaded with protein, and it tastes good.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah, like I don't.
And I think that's the one thing about it. When people see this stuff, they go, "Oh, it's probably going to taste like the box that it came in."
Right.
But
No,
in
you're
all
pleasantly
reality,
surprised.
You're pleasantly surprised. Absolutely.
How they do that?
Not mine. I have no idea, but they
Is
do
that
it.
the magic part?
That's the magic part. That's the magic part. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa. There's so many more, though, and Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter.
That's got your name written all over it,
We
brother.
ran through these.
What? You got a mouse in your pocket? All I
And-
saw was an empty box.
For our fans and listeners, get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/6feet. Or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/6feet for $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream.
Hold on to the dream. It's going to turn your world around,
It's
brother.
going to turn your world around. Thank you, Magic Spoon. During the Attitude Era, during all that stuff, like everybody had this thing that they were doing that everyone loved.
Right.
There wasn't like a character that like everybody just like was like, there was no just throwaway thing.
Right.
Everything was.
Everything had a meaning.
It had a meaning. And I thought to myself, the audience had to be exhausted every night at the end of the night.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like, I can only imagine, like, I felt like if I went to a Raw during the when you guys were just killing it, right? I feel like at the end of the night, I would have had to have sat down for 5 minutes before leaving. To.
Yeah. They brought, that during that whole period of time, man, the fans were, you go back and just look at the crowds, the amount of signs
Yeah.
that people had and just the energy level, it was crazy.
Yeah.
When that glass broke, brother. And
But what y'all were doing as well was the reason why the fans were the way they were. And it was every segment was a banger. As Seamus says, it was banger after banger after banger. There was never a bad match. Monday Night Raw was pay-per-view material every week.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, I was like, the crowds had to be
they were drained
like
by the end of the night.
drained by the end of the night. Like they just saw so much happen.
It's an emotional roller coaster from the ballyhoo with the fireworks and the ballyhoo. It was just like, oh, they take them up and they bring them down and they take them back up.
And then I was thinking, like, when did you go to the bathroom? When did you go get a snack if you were there? Because like there was a moment, like you didn't want to miss a moment because you never knew what was going to happen.
You never knew what was going to happen. So yeah. You better empty the bladder during the dark matches because you're not going to want to get up once the show starts. Yeah.
And you talk about, or people talk about the women's matches early on where it was like, oh, that was the matches you go get during the Attitude Era. That was the matches I wanted to watch because you
never know.
I was crossing my fingers that we would have a Janet Jackson
wardrobe malfunction.
So it was just, I just thought about the fans. I was like, my God, they had to be exhausted during that time. You guys were, and I'm, with Godfather being in town and stuff, and I was like, these guys were just blowing the roof off every single night. And
Man, too, though, there was so much energy from the crowd. We fed off of that energy as well.
yeah.
So, and then it was just vice versa. We're feeding off their energy, and then obviously we're giving our full commitment and energy back to them. So yeah, everybody was gassed at the end of a Monday Night Raw.
And
man.
y'all had to be like, if you went out and just had a banger, the crowd's going wild, the girls are throwing their bras and panties in the ring and all that stuff. You had to walk to a gorilla position and just like look at the next person and just be like, that had to be
Follow
so
that.
fun. That
Oh,
had
man.
to be.
That was probably, to me, one of the coolest parts of it, because everyone in that, especially of the top guys,
Yeah.
everybody was reaching for that brass ring. Okay, so even if the hierarchy was Austin and Rock and Triple H and Kurt, myself, it's like everybody was fighting for that top spot, and that, as you know, like that kind of competition, it makes you better.
Yeah.
Because if Austin's the top guy, you want to stay on top.
Yeah.
If you're Rock coming up, like, man, I'm right there. I'm nipping at his heels. So that drives Rock to be better. It drives Stone Cold to be better because Stone Cold wants to hang on to that number one spot. Now here you've got Kurt and Triple H right there, and it was such a awesome, healthy competition.
Yeah.
When you talk about wrestling's not a true competition. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It truly is. It's different in the sense of, how it is a competition, but man, it was like everyone, Mick, everybody was trying their best to.
At the end of a great show, especially the top guys, those top 5, 6 guys, did y'all look at each other and be like, all right, we killed it tonight, good job? Or is it more now you look, because at the time maybe it was, I'm in this competition. I don't necessarily want to, but is it now you look back at it and go, man, deep down, I was happy that this guy had a great match because it helped me out? Or was it at the time, were you saying, hey man, good job tonight, or any of that stuff?
No, yeah, everybody, there was again, there was that part in you that, man, I want to be the guy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, man, I hope he stumbles or I hope,
Yeah.
I hope he bumbles up his promo tonight and he sucks. And it wasn't any of that, because one, we had to fight our way back to being the best, the top show.
Yeah.
And that, getting our asses kicked, through the Monday Night Wars.
That was
man,
motivation.
that freaking lit a fire under all of us.
Yeah.
And then once we finally we got back to where we should be, and man, by then we just
I would
killing
imagine it was more those, you 5, 6 guys. It was the nights when you didn't blow the roof off the place, or maybe somebody didn't do their job. Maybe not one of them, but maybe there was somebody else that wrestled. And I would imagine it was more of, you maybe have a conversation with them of, hey, that's not going to happen again tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're gonna bring it every night.
Yeah, and for the most part, everybody during that time period was, they
were on their A game.
Yeah, they knew what their job was. They knew what they had to do, and there wasn't a lot. I'm sure there was, but there wasn't a lot of guys that were screw ups that showed up and were messed up and didn't do a little bit of it. Not a lot. There was a pride. We took a lot of pride in the fact that we got our asses stomped in the ratings by the other company, and that crew of guys that brought it back took a lot of pride in the fact that we did, and then obviously we put the other company out of business.
Yeah. And you look at how many Hall of Famers came out of that time period as well. I mean, it was
everybody. It was just stacked, right?
Yeah. It was inevitable that you guys were going to
Oh, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
No. It truly was just a matter of time. You knew. You knew down there. You could just see it. There was too many egos. There were too many. There were too many chiefs and not enough. There wasn't enough soldiers there, and it was going to implode.
Yeah.
And it did. And but it was great. It was absolutely the best thing that ever happened, I think, to professional wrestling.
You dressed up as Kane on Raw on 2 different occasions and had everybody fooled that it really was Kane. How did that idea come about, and what was the whole experience like?
I don't know whose idea it was. But it was genius. And, it was just funny because you think you're with these people all the time, but then when you have to emulate them to their mannerisms and everything, it does become kind of pressure filled to sell it without being tipped off.
Yeah.
And, I was just like, when we did that, I think Kane was probably like 25 pounds heavier than I was. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to look like anorexic Kane in this suit, but it both times it came off without a hitch. Nobody had a clue. And just one of those iconic moments when me pulling the mask off and hearing, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler flipping out.
Yeah.
It was fun. That was it was creative booking and good stuff. He finally admitted that he went 10 feet in the snow that night.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Say you drank too much wine.
Whoa. I said the only thing that I disagree in that story is that you say that I only went 10 feet. I say I went at least 10 yards. At least 10, maybe 7 yards.
You know what? I want you, because I've heard the story from him. I want your version of this story and tell the audience about what happened that night.
I'm not the whole story, but.
All right, so this is 1989. We don't have cell phones. We've got the rotary phones, and he had an apartment. I had an apartment
In Nashville.
Yeah, in Nashville, and so I'm gonna let you tell the story, but I'm just setting it up. So he was going to drive. He had a maroon Ford Taurus, and it was going to be me and him, and Dirty White Boy and Dirty White Girl. Mm-hmm. We were all going to share trans and go from. We all lived in Nashville. Monday night we'd go to Memphis.
200 miles.
200 miles. We drive back to Nashville. The next night we go to Louisville. We're gonna drive his car because we got 4 people. We're gonna drive his car. Go ahead.
So everything, I drove there, right? I drove to Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay,
The weather was fine.
weather was fine.
It was beautiful.
Weather was fine. Nice day. We drove. We get to Memphis, and Mr. Coffee, I think it was.
Yep, Mr. Coffee was in the back of the Mid-South Coliseum.
He comes and basically tells us that there's a storm coming. The show's been canceled. And we're kind of looking around going, it don't look like no storm to us.
No, it wasn't a flake of snow, any rain, anything. It's just like, it's cold, but
So we decided to stop and eat somewhere. It was maybe
TGIF.
Okay, we stopped at TGIF's, and we probably all together had $15 in our pocket.
Yeah, I still remember that. We had enough money to buy an appetizer.
Yeah.
And us all like get either a water or like a Diet Coke. Maybe somebody got maybe a beer.
Yeah, it was.
But
I mean, you're
just
getting
one.
paid $35, $50 for a show and spending $30 on gas.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We get our appetizer, and by the time we come out,
Ooh.
the sky has opened up, and it is a blizzard. And now we've got 200 miles to get back to Nashville. We don't have money. It's snowing so bad. Like if I'd have had the money, or any of us had money, we would have got a hotel.
Yeah.
And then just drove from Memphis to Louisville the next day. But we ain't got any money, so we've got to make this trek back to Nashville.
So
go ahead.
So Taker goes, hey, man, you're from the West Coast. You're not used to driving in this, man. This is going to be bad. Let me drive. I'll get us in. No problem. I'm used to this. Let's do it. So now I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. So he takes off. He's doing great. But, I mean, there's carnage everywhere. There's trucks slid, cars wrecked, deer on the road. It's just crazy, man. People on it's crazy. But he's doing a great job.
I'm doing 10 miles an hour.
But he's doing good.
But we're making progress.
He's doing good. For some reason, I don't know why, I decide, oh, wait, did we pull over?
Yes. So Kim, that's her name, right?
Yes,
Kim,
we pulled over.
White girl, she had to pee. So by this time, we hadn't seen anybody in hours. Like nobody on the road at all. And it's still kind of coming down, but she had to, this has been 5 hours driving. And she had to pee. I stopped right in the middle of Interstate 40. And I said, all right, me and him went to the front of the car. She did what she had to do. And that's when he decides, hey, 'cause we're like 50, 60 miles at this point outside of Nashville. He said, I'll bring us in. I was like, bro, I got this, man. I got us this far. We only got, at that point would have been another 2.5, 3 hours. I said, I got this, man. No, man, I got it. It's my car. Let me drive.
Hard hit.
I'm like, dude, I was like, I kind of got a feel for it now. No, man, I'm driving. Like just mean about it, right? I'm like, okay, man, go ahead. We all get back in the car.
This is where there's a difference in this story. I take off. You know what? I went at least 10 yards, and then I think I had to swerve to hit a deer or something. So I turned the wheel. The car started spinning. Thank God I saved that deer's life. And then because of the spinning, I tried to correct it, tried to oversteer, and somehow we ended up in a ditch. Kind of.
There was no
teetering.
deer. Let me just clarify that there was no deer.
You didn't see that deer?
No. There was no deer. No, absolutely no deer. And
sure?
it was a scene. It was like the scene in a movie. Like we're like this from the road to the ditch. The car, the front right car, the front right wheel is not touching anything.
God, I'm laughing too hard.
The car. He's
Cover off the bike.
It's just teetering. I had to go out through the driver's side so that the car did not flip into the ditch. So now the four of us are standing in the middle of Interstate 40.
10 feet away from where you just got that peeing.
Taker's hot. He's hot now. He's
Pissed.
He's pissed. Looking at me just like
I'd been at all these hours of drive, and I'm telling you, like, if I got up to 15 miles an hour, it was like white knuckle, because it was just I can't even begin to tell you the amount of cars that are already in the ditch and semis that are in the ditch, and it's still snowing, and there's fog. It's the worst storm I'd ever been in.
Yeah.
It is the worst, absolutely worst.
You shouldn't have let me drove. You should have been insisted. Hey, no, you ain't doing it.
Oh, it's my fault now.
So
We're standing out in the middle of Interstate 40, and I'm just staring a hole in it.
Freezing your balls off.
Freezing, like, I ain't get shit for a jacket or anything, right? I can't even afford an appetizer at TGI Fridays. And I'm just staring at him. I want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's like, man, we could be halfway. We could be halfway to our apartments by now.
And we were rescued.
Oh, so finally, we're standing out. I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. We're standing in the middle.
Lord.
And it's
I
barely
don't think nobody passed.
nobody.
There's
There's nobody.
There's nobody.
Nobody coming our way. Finally, we see headlights going the opposite direction. It's a highway patrolman. And we're like, oh my gosh, we're saved, right? So this highway patrolman sees us,
And finally, he goes down. He's got chains on his wheels. He turns around. He's like, "What are you guys doing out here?" We're freezing. That's what we're doing. Why are y'all out here? Like, we're trying to get to Nashville. He said, well, I said, our car's over there in the ditch. He's like, oh. Yeah. I said, can you give us a ride to somewhere? And he goes, well, the next exit up, there's like an inn, like a motel. I mean, like Norman Bates type shit, right? And he goes, I can take y'all up there. I was like, we're like, fine. Yeah, that if you don't mind, if you'd give us a ride up there, right? So they start piling in. Tony, Kim, Bear start piling in the back, and I'm gonna get in the front, right? I'm gonna get in the passenger side seat. He goes, oh no. He says, you can't sit up there. You got to get in the back.
Tony's got to be 300 pounds,
Tony,
280, 300.
250, 275, 330, probably 315, 320. Thank goodness Kim was 95 pounds. I think she laid across the three of us. We are squeezed in there like sardines in a can in the back of a squad car. And you know, they got the metal retaining wall back there.
Yeah.
And we can't even breathe. You can't even take a deep breath. We're squeezed in there so tight. We drive up. He lets us off at the end.
How did we pay for it?
So Tony had just enough money on his credit card for a deposit. Like, and it was like $35 for this. This is 1989, and it was not that expensive, but we just didn't have any money.
My wife, I think, Instagrammed or whatever, not Instagram, with MoneyGrammed us some money because I blew out the tire. And it had to be towed, and then they had to fix something.
And then the snow blowers too. They came through and put the car in the ditch so that, for whatever reason,
hardhead.
He had to get up early, get the car. We get to Nashville just long enough for everybody to go home for like 10 minutes,
go to work,
and then we had to turn around and drive to Louisville, Kentucky,
to make another $35.
Those are the adventures and stories you remember.
10 feet.
No.
10
no, come
feet.
on. That's
10
not
feet.
even the length of the car.
10 feet. We're in a slide.
The deer.
The deer.
It was a.
The deer. When the deer saw you get behind the wheel, the deer ran the other direction. 10 feet. I'm like, oh, we're going. And then it's like this. We're just teetering on the edge. I don't want to hear it. Oh. And then from that point on, it's just been one adventure after another.
Oh my God.
What happened in Louisville the next night? Do you remember that match at all? I mean, were y'all?
I couldn't tell you.
Were you pissed off and
Dude,
tired?
Exhausted is what we were. We didn't
You
get
did a lot
sleep.
of traveling back then.
Oh, dude, I put on that
Ford
Escort I had in 8 months. I put like 45,000 miles on it.
You drove a lot.
And was it just bouncing around like that? You had that one territory, and it was just bouncing from city to city, 200 miles away from each other on most of them.
Well, they were set Monday night. You worked Memphis. So we lived in Nashville. So Monday night was Memphis. Tuesday night was Louisville. So you're driving, and then you drive back to Nashville. Wednesday night was either Evansville or
Usually
Owensboro.
Evansville or Owensboro. That's payday.
Yeah, so that's where you got paid on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday were spot shows, which were usually further down close to Memphis because you had to be at Memphis, the TV studio, Saturday morning for Memphis TV, and then you drove back to Nashville for the house show Saturday night.
Yep.
Sundays we had off.
Yeah. And then have to go right back to Memphis on Monday.
Yeah, and then right
Why
back
didn't
to
y'all just live in Memphis?
It's too much stretch.
It would have been.
That would be adding 150 miles to your trip.
So I feel like you had multiple days where you had to be in Memphis.
Yeah, but after you did Memphis TV, you still had to go back to Nashville to do the house show.
And then you had to come back from Memphis on Monday.
And then Louisville on Tuesday. So Louisville's north. Evansville is north.
So Nashville was a little bit. I mean, it was more
it was
centered.
centrally low. It was centrally located.
Yeah.
And we put some miles on some vehicles, man.
Ooh.
So you're putting 45,000 miles a year on a car, and you weren't driving more than 500 miles at a time. It doesn't sound like.
No. We were.
It was just.
It was just back. Yeah, it was
Pinging.
the same. It was the same trips. You know, the McMinnvilles and the Jonesboroughs and all these places.
Who traveled? It was me and you, and mostly me and you.
Yeah, it was mostly me and you. I don't know. Frankie the Thumper there? No, that was the second time around. Dutch probably was in there with us. Yeah. I know.
Well, plus we both lived in Nashville, so
Yeah.
it was easy for us to do it.
Yeah.
Those are some good times, though. I mean, those are the funny stories. Broke
Broke
no
as
money,
hell, man. We
broke.
so broke we couldn't pay attention.
You remember going to Wendy's and somebody would pay us? Wendy's was one of the first restaurants that had a buffet. I think it was Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd go there and one person would pay for get the receipt and then eat and then meet the other guy in the bathroom and give him the receipt. And then give it to, because we had no money.
We
used to do a cup of pickles at Burger King. So you'd go to Burger King, you'd order a hamburger, get it, go sit down. All you'd order was the hamburger. That was it. Go back up and go, hey, can I get some extra pickles? And they'd always put them in a cup. And it's just like a small cup. You go back, empty out the pickles, you go over and get yourself a drink. And then pay for the drink.
That's thinking, though.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
the
we would
things
do,
you do.
We would do that, to
survive.
Yeah, just to save an extra $1.50, whatever it was, for a soda.
Oh, my God.
Yes, but those things. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, it builds friendships, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Hard times build a
yeah.
friendship and a bond, and that's hard to break between. And I mean, you guys, it's very rare you find two folks that have a 36-year long friendship like y'all have.
Yeah.
And I think it's built through being
Those
on the
times.
road, the hard times, the tough times, just
Marriages,
trying to scrape it together.
marriages,
Kids, good
Just
times,
life.
bad
Good- yeah.
times. By the time that we get back, we hook back up, and he comes in as Papa Shango, and so I'd already been there. I think you came in 92,
91, I think.
91, yeah. So, man, when he came in, ooh, Lordy, we had our. You talk about a couple degenerates, man. We had it down.
Yes.
We had it down.
Well, now
to
you got a little bit of cheese.
Yeah. We ain't got to worry about the miss a meal cramps anymore.
No. We had it down.
Yeah. We did.
Sleep when you're dead.
That was our motto.
Yeah.
We'll sleep when we're dead. We didn't. We hardly. Only time we ever slept was on airplanes.
How many times did we come back to our hotel room just to never slept in the hotel room,
Never
just
even-
to pick
yeah.
up our bags to go to the airport?
Yeah. That was
And
mainstay.
you know what? We never missed the show, though.
But I think wrestling, we've talked about it before, I think that's probably where you see it the most. I mean, where guys get lost in their character, they get lost in that life, and they don't understand how to
Pull away from it.
pull away from it and unfortunately, I think it's not even their fault sometimes, right? I think sometimes people have this expectation that you're always the Undertaker.
You're always on. You're
Yeah.
always
Yeah,
on.
you're
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to be the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Ric Flair has to be Ric Flair.
Woo!
And
Well, he is. But
yes. But I mean, I think that's the thing is like, I think a lot of people, they look at professional wrestlers because they play this character or they are this character on TV.
Yep.
And the good ones, like the Undertakers of the world and the Ric Flairs and the Hulk Hogans and all these people that have these long Hall of Fame careers, they do it so good, and that's why they're able to have this Hall of Fame career because they built this character and they were this good with this character.
Yep.
And I think there's so many people expect them to be that
24/7.
at a restaurant
Yep.
on a Thursday night
Yep.
when they're sitting there with their wife and kids.
Yeah.
And that's difficult, And I think a lot of those guys, though, they don't know how to separate that sometimes.
Yep.
They don't know how to be just Mark,
Yep.
I think you've done a really good job over the last couple of years of, I mean, I know it was tough, but I mean, I think you've done a really good job of.
yeah, it just
and you know, a lot of the things that you were saying really resonates with me as far as cutting it off, and it took me a long time to figure that out because I was Undertaker all the time.
Yep.
And you know, it took my wife and my kids to be able to like, okay, this is where I really want to be now at this part of my life, and it helped me shut that door because everyone had always expected me to be Undertaker, and you know, and I'd always expected to be I knew it was going to come one day, but I really didn't. You know, it was just like
So how did you one, I never forget when you came to Seattle, Washington, and you were at the Comcast Arena, and you came out there, you did something with Kane, and I was in the back, and and I was like, hey, and, you're like, you're the and you do your and I was like, it's okay, boys, like,
there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
He's
So how did you I'm so active, right? I haven't, retired, but how did you, as an athlete at a high level, how did you come to terms when it was like, hey, you know what, baby, I'm about to lay in that casket. I'm done. Goodbye, Undertaker. I love you. And now I'm just Mark. You don't call me Undertaker anymore. You call me Mark. So how did you navigate that? Because I haven't done it yet, and I haven't talked. I think you're the first athlete that I'm talking to about like that transition when you're like, I'm done. Like, I don't, because a lot of people are like, you're Mighty Mouse. You can do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm still fast. I can still fight if I choose to. But there's gonna be a time where the mouse doesn't want the cheese anymore. The mouse is gonna stay in his hole and not get caught in the trap.
Yeah.
Walk me through, like.
Well, that's once those feelings start creeping in, you got to listen to them because what you do is way too dangerous just to do it to because somebody's telling you that's what you need to do. Once you start getting that not that self-doubt, but it's you have to crave what you do. I think you have to crave to be in there to prove that you're the best fighter at your weight division. For me. The decision was it was made for me, just like I said when we talked earlier, Father Time, my body just couldn't deliver what I wanted it to do anymore. Like I said, in my mind and in my heart, I still wanted to be out there doing it.
Yeah.
And I pushed, I was looking for that perfect ending. I was looking for that Dan Marino,
best quarterback ever.
Wow, you just oh my gosh.
It's my favorite guest of all time.
Oh, you just made the number one for him. What I was talking about with Dan Elway. The Dan Elway finish, right? He wins 2 Super Bowls. John Elway. I'm
the second best quarterback in that class.
Anyway, John Elway. Gosh, I'll never hear the end of that. John Elway wins 2 Super Bowls. Rides off into the sunset, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like for me, I was looking for just the match. I was looking for that match where I could hang my hat on and say, there it is, boys. Go get it, right?
Yep.
And it was just, I was at the point where my body just couldn't deliver what my mind's eye saw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I listened to my body, but my mind and my heart weren't there yet. So there was a time I had to catch up,
inner conflict,
and figure out, how to fill that void. And man, I discovered podcasting, and it's really been awesome. No.
Well, I think the other part to you is you're a perfectionist as well, though.
Well,
right?
yeah.
And that's where you're not going to have. In your head, what the match that you want is WrestleMania 25.
Yeah.
And you want that as your last match, but you didn't want WrestleMania 25 to be your last match.
Right.
And WrestleMania 25, pound for pound of his match, may not just be the best Undertaker match, but it's one of the best wrestling matches ever. But even with that match, you talk about one thing in that match, probably more than anything. and it was the dive.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. The dive.
and it's like, and you talk about that in a manner of the mistake I made, and you'll say, man, I had almost a perfect match except for this one thing, and you're such a perfectionist when it comes to that you're never going to have that perfect last match. I don't think. You know what I mean?
Well, and that, that's just. I don't think anybody does, but then
You're chasing it, though.
You're,
That's the
it's
thing.
like, you're chasing the dragon, man. You're just, I know it's in there. I've had it once, right? I know it's in there, and I know that and you fool yourself into like, okay, I know that I don't move this well, but I can do this and I can do this, and I'm smart enough to know this, and then things start happening and like, wow, these kind of things don't happen to me, but like the Goldberg match.
Yeah.
I had this match with Goldberg in Saudi Arabia, and it was just it was horrible. And he hurt his head, and it was hot, and just a bunch of things went wrong. And normally when things like that would happen, like I pick up on it, I know exactly what to do, how to fix this, how to go to plan B and make everything, and I didn't do it. I couldn't do it, and there's time off involved and all that too, where I'm not as sharp. So yeah, it's tough when you don't have, you could just ride that horse too long sometimes.
I love that. Ride that horse too long. I've been trying to find little things to tell people. Like one of them is like, boys, when you go to a party and then you're having a couple beers, you have a couple drinks and all that shit, and the next you have 5, 6, 8, 9, you end up drunk, you end up with a horrible donkey. That's when you should have stopped at 2. Like you don't want to stay. You don't want to stay.
All of a sudden, you're wrestling the dude that I wrestled at 145.
I always tell people, I said, man, you don't want to be there when the lights come on.
Yeah,
that's a bad sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Survivor Series is a significant part of your career. If you were a team captain of a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match, what superstars, past or present, would be your dream team?
I mean, so there's 5 of us?
5 of you.
Whew. And I hate when I have to think of like several people right off the cuff, right?
4 people.
4 people, because I'm going to be on the team. Okay.
Super easy. There's 4 people.
All right.
4 horsemen.
No,
and it's
come on. Oh, jeez. All right. I'm going to take Kane. Stone Cold. Andre.
Good God.
Yeah, hey, I'm in it to win it, brother. This ain't a beauty pageant. I got one more.
One more.
Just to make things right, Coco Beware. To go make
Full
it
circle.
Full circle moment right there. I came all the way back. I'd make it right.
Helping him out.
I would help him out. I promised. Yeah.
Could you imagine this Survivor Series? Okay, let's say you came out first, which God knows that would never happen, right? You come out first. Kane follows you. The glass shatters. Andre comes out. I mean, the roof is blown off the place. It's on fire. Now you got Coco Beware coming
And Frankie.
with Frankie.
I owe him that.
You do owe him that. Yeah, that's that'd be a heck of a.
And if Coco wasn't available, I'd probably take either Sean or Triple H, probably, if Coco couldn't make it.
So I'm going to ask this anyway. How big is The Rock? Because I feel like we're the same size. Because they say he's taller. He's not 6'5", is he?
No, I don't think so.
So, see,
No.
I don't know, just something.
I mean, he's tall. He's 6'4". He's in that area. But
Yeah.
I think you're taller than
Well, I mean,
he is.
as long as I'm the same size, that's all that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be the same size as The Rock. It's just, I don't know. I'm very impressed with his story.
Yeah,
fact
no,
that
he
looks-
is.
I mean, that is a motivational, inspirational
Yeah.
dude right there. You know.
Yeah.
And there's only a handful of people that I really like. I think would be cool to meet. I mean, since I've already met you. But you know,
He gets to come back.
Apparently so. Yeah. He's,
But that's just one of them. That's
Yeah.
one dude that I'd like to meet just because he inspires me. You know?
Yeah, he's worked really hard.
His work ethic looks insane.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, when you $7 production, I mean that just from starting at that point,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
And
story by
it is
itself,
so
yeah.
funny because I've told like when he debuted in Madison Square Garden and he had he was Rocky Maivia. I was like, oh, this kid's done. I thought it's over. Yeah, yeah, especially in the Garden, right?
Right.
Where they will flat out just annihilate you right out of the get go, and sometimes you can't recover. And and he's coming out and he's got the little curly hair back then, and he's telling him to smile.
I remember that look.
And yeah, and they're just booing the shit out of him, and I was like, oh, this kid ain't long. And it's a shame because he's a legacy too, right?
Yeah.
Little did I know. I guess I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really. I mean, he was always a student. Like, I mean, he was always like writing stuff down and asking questions and just, incredible work ethic.
Right.
And as great as his career is, what he did earlier this year might be one of his better performances in the sense of what he did for the company coming back and the whole how he could cut. I mean, it was people started watching wrestling again that hadn't watched in years because of what he did earlier this year leading into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he put eyes on the product that hadn't been on the product in a while.
Yeah.
So do you think because of he's such a big star that it brought non-wrestling fans over to wrestling to watch?
Yeah, and I think that was part of the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
With TKO is to bring somebody of that. They brought him onto the board,
Right.
made him a board member. I mean, he's got his hand in everything
Right.
from
But
professional football to everything.
I hadn't watched wrestling in a while, and then
It hadn't been the same, right, since 2020.
Of course, exactly. So, but once it was just all over Instagram.
Yeah.
Like he was just killing Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And it's millions and millions of views of everything he posted. And I'm like, that's pretty cool, So I just thought that it must have brought a new wave of, fans.
Yeah, it brought some
or viewers,
back, and then a lot of people, from like I said, from movies and his dealings in the XFL, USFL, and all these different things that he's got his hands in. I mean, it was.
I think it brought a lot of people back that were there for the Attitude Era that may have left the product and came back and started watching it again from where his heyday was. And it made a lot of us feel like we were, either teenagers or in our early 20s all over
Isn't it
again.
crazy how you can see something and it takes you back to that?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
We'll have it all. Like we love 80s movies. Like we're big movie buffs anyway. But we'll go back and watch a movie, and then whatever food I remember eating when I watched that movie the first, like where pizza, I'm like, oh dude, I need some pizza. If I'm gonna watch this movie, I gotta get some pizza. It's never on my diet, right? But I need to go get. Maybe now that I'm a super heavyweight, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there you go.
Time to bulk up. But yeah, it's just crazy how something
Get
can
meat lovers.
invoke that emotion or that
Yeah.
memory.
Oh, yeah.
right? And I mean, it's a lot like
And
that.
wrestling, I think, does that. I mean, in wrestling, first of all, you get to check out of the reality of what's going on in this world right now, and you get to focus on something that's just fun.
Right.
And it takes me back to being on that living room floor,
Dude.
and watching it. And of course, whoever I wanted to win, my dad's pulling for the other guy, and my brother's pulling for whoever. But and everybody has their guy, right? And that's just fun. And it takes you back to those moments, and that's what I love about it.
Well, you just talking about the living room floor. The amount of DDTs and suplexes and stuff that I've done on people on the couch cushions in the floor in my living room when I was a kid. I mean, I think we did every move ever done right there in that living room floor, right? How we're still alive today.
You didn't watch the PSAs that we did.
How did you get into wrestling?
I was working at the Cheetahs, not the Cheetahs. This was the Crazy Horse. You've been to the Crazy Horse. That was before Cheetahs.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, don't say nothing. Look at, he's like, what's he gonna say? And they were filming a movie with Sylvester Stallone called, I think it was called Over the Top.
Oh, the arm wrestling.
Arm
one.
wrestling
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Scott Norton was in that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
And there was a lot of other guys that weren't big name wrestlers, but that were wrestlers that were extras in that. And they would all come to the bar. Now, back then, you were the bartender, manager, doorman, stocker. You were everything back then. You know, you just handled your business. And a lot of those guys would come in. And, you know, back then, I'm a beast, dude. I mean, I'm working in I got cowboy boots on, a big old rodeo buckle, a tank top, and I'm just big, man. I mean, big, big, big. There's pictures. And they're like, dude, you ever think about wrestling? And I'm like, nah. When I grew up in the Bay Area in the 70s. And believe it or not, roller derby was bigger than wrestling back then. A lot bigger in the Bay Area.
I loved roller derby.
Yeah.
That shit was real.
Cow Palace, yeah. The Cow Palace would sell out. The Cow Palace would sell out in roller derby, only draw half a house with Haystack Calhoun and people like that. And so I'm like, nah. And then they're like, I'm like, nah, I don't really want to do that, man. I got my own thing. And they're like, have you ever heard of this guy, Bam Bam Bigelow? And I'm like, yeah, the dude with all the tattoos on his head. Yeah, I know. I've seen him. They said, well, he made $1 million last year wrestling. I went, wrestling? He made $1 million wrestling? And then everybody's like, dude, you act like a wrestler. You might as well become one because you're as crazy as them guys. They said, you might as well. And then I called where Bam Bam went to the Monster Factory.
Right.
I called Larry Sharp. Now, back then, there's no cell phones. There's you can't just send a picture to somebody. So I kind of described myself to him. He goes, well, if you fly yourself out here to New Jersey, I'll take a look at you and put you up in a hotel. And when I got up, when he see me get off the plane, he says, back then, that's when you could go to the plane and wait right at the door and wait. And I can see in his eyes, he's like, wow.
Ka-ching.
Wow. Next thing I know, I went
Did you already
home.
have the mohawk then, or what?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
And so I went home, told my wife, sell the house. I'm moving to New Jersey. When you sell the house, come join me. And that's where I was at school a very short time. I didn't learn anything because me and Larry Sharp would go out every night, and Larry was impressed with the way that I could talk women into doing things. I just say that. That's a nice way to say it.
You get to gift.
I used to I'm an old man now, but I used to be able to
You could
talk
lay it
my
down.
way into something.
You could lay it down. I give you.
And so I never went to school, and that's the whole Jerry Lawler thing. That's when Jerry see me, and Jerry's like, let me see you throw a punch. He goes, throw a kick. And he goes, oh, you'll be all right.
I've only got to work with you for a little bit, but the guys after me, boy, they're in trouble. They are going to be in trouble.